Hello and thanks for choosing RwandaTV News. It is the 10th of September 2022, World Suicide Prevention Day, a reminder to all of us to take our mental health seriously. This is what we have coming up for you. The participants of the just concluded Africa Green Revolution Forum say it has greatly benefited them. And the Rwanda Correctional Service reminds Rwandans in general not to see released prisoners just as culprits, but instead to give them a warm welcome. And on the international scene, the economic impact of the coronavirus pandemic forced many businesses in New York City to shut down. One of those businesses were housed in a special part of U.S. history. I'm Isabel Masozera. Now, top of our stories, participants of the just concluded African Green Revolution Forum say that they have been greatly benefited in terms of getting their businesses to access different markets. This story is coming to you with Olive Intete.
Gwiririza Jean-Marie Vianney, the Executive Director of the Rwanda Youth in Agribusiness Forum, an organization that assists the youth in agribusiness, pointed out that this summit on agriculture immensely benefited the youth in this sector.
We have a big number of young people that are in agriculture and that have various markets outside the country. Some of them cultivate pepper, others are cultivating fruits, and others that are farming vegetables. All of those had an opportunity to meet and share knowledge on how to find markets. It was a good opportunity to share knowledge, and I strongly believe that after this, markets are going to expand even in countries we do not currently work with.
Iyamuremye Jacques Dawson, the chairman of the Horticulture and Reality Corporation, a company of students that studied in Israel that provides services of multiplying Irish potato seeds, says it's been 3 years since they started their activities, but he notes that this summit enlightened them on how to expand their operations.
We immediately thought of a potato multiplication project, and now it's been 3 years. This meeting assisted us on how to expand our activities and do some innovations as well. We also want to increase the number of farmers so as to increase the productivity of potato seeds. As you noticed in the summit, the availability of improved seeds is still a huge challenge, so it is an opportunity for the youth and for us who are already in this field so that we can increase the productivity.
The country director of the Alliance for a Green Revolution in Africa also reiterated on various topics discussed in the summit that resulted into positive outcomes to the country.
Seeing people coming not only from Africa, but from Europe, from America, from Latin America, from Canada, from Australia, it's a sign that agriculture or food security now, because you're talking food system, is a common denominator that brings the world together. Food system now goes beyond productivity. It's about market. It's about access to finance. It's about fighting climate change. And all that ecosystem that will make us live, have income, but also have an earth to live on was really a key highlight for me. And I enjoyed hearing commitments that were made and looking forward to put them into action.
The president of the Alliance for a Green Revolution in Africa, Dr. Agnes Karibata, pointed out that among the things that this forum has benefited to the country is promoting some of the crops that are cultivated locally, such as beans, which has a specificity comparing to other beans cultivated across the continent.
Among other things that we really were very excited about is that the Rwandan bean is being adopted in a challenge around of taking care of people, but also taking care of the environment. It's being adopted as a global challenge on how to improve people's health, but also how to improve soil health. And we were happy to share that the Rwandan bean is part of our culture. It's something we eat 3 times a day. It's something we grow everywhere. It's something we are very proud of because it's part of our culture and part of our DNA. So it's something we are happy to send to the world.
Addressing food scarcity and taking bold actions to build a resilient food system in Africa so that it can be self-reliant and also supply to other various continents was the theme of the summit. The Africa Green Revolution Forum brought together 3,500 people from across the world. Olive Nete, RTV News.
Thank you, Olive. Still staying with the AGRF Summit. Organizers and participants of the concluded summit here in Kigali say that they are happy with the way it was hosted and are confident it will leave a lasting legacy. Our colleague Jean-Pierre Kagabo asked a few of them about what they thought of the event, and this is what one of them had to say.
Co-hosting this with the government of Rwanda. As you know, the AGRF Secretariat is under AGRA. So we are really pleased to have seen many people come from all over and participate in this wonderful forum. So what really this forum is leaving me is a sense of togetherness. Seeing people coming not only from Africa, but from Europe, from America, from Latin America, from Canada, from Australia. It's a sign that agriculture or food security now, because we're talking food system, is a common denominator that brings the world together. My three takeaways from the summit. One is the involvement of the heads of states and government. We had 5 heads of states, we had 42 ministers and leaders of industry who kind of say, this matter, this topic is important, we need to give it value. Not only we had the heads of government, we had also the CEOs of banks, of multinationals, coming and say, food system now goes beyond productivity. It's about market, it's about access to finance, it's about fighting climate change, and all that ecosystem that will make us live, have income, but also have an earth to live on was really a key highlight for me, and I enjoyed hearing commitments that were made and looking forward to put them into action. The new strategy of AGRA is very good, especially for Rwanda, because as you saw when they were launching it, it has 4 main pillars. Pillar number 1 is seed systems. We've been involved in seed system in Rwanda for the last many years. Pillar 2 is sustainable farming. That's where we're dealing with climate change. That's where we're dealing with use of chemicals and fertilizers. And we've been there, but this strategy gives us more practical way to intervene. And strategy 3, or pillar 3, is markets. And it will be useless to produce when you don't have market. It will be demotivating to invest in input and chemicals and have a good yield and not have return on investment. So the focus on market was really very important for me. And of course, pillar 4, which is policy and state capability, continuing to bring capacity of the government and helping the policy framework and an enabling environment for both farmers and private sector to thrive was one of the highlights of the strategy. I will miss faces. You know, we had planned for 2,000, we got 3,500. And what it tells me is AGRF is a needed platform, it's a wanted platform, it's a useful platform. We were to actually ask people to close sessions because they wanted to keep on discussing. I would miss those discussions, those intelligent dialogues between experts.
Moving on, the Rwanda Correctional Service reminds Rwandans in general not to see released prisoners just as culprits and instead to give them a warm welcome. This is said as Rwanda government granted parole to 1,803 inmates. Prince Manzi with the details.
At the Nyarugenge prison in Mageragere, it was a time of joy to 148 inmates, including 24 women who were released this Saturday. The released say that they repent for the crimes they committed and assures the general public that they will behave better this time. I was jailed due to theft. We were given mercy, and that is why I thank the government. I'm happy that I've been released. I had lost hope of returning back to the society, but now I'm happy. Now I'm going to teach my colleagues who are in bad manners to stop.
bakoraga ibibi byo kwiba bakabivamo.
nafunzwe muri 2019 nafungiwe icyaha cy'urugomo.
I was jailed in 2019 due to violence. The lesson I've learned is to behave well. RCS corrected us and taught us technical classes, and I thank them. I also thank the President of the Republic for the mercy we were given. The impact of the jail time is that there's no development in your family as we are not taking care of it. The crimes committed by the released prisoners include theft, armed robbery, use and spread of drugs, rape, and forgery, among others. The released also say that they have learned technical classes that will help them to earn money.
I'm so happy because of the mercy we were given by President Paul Kagame. We are getting back to society. I thank him that I've also learned a lot of skills, and this will help me to earn money. The skills I gained include welding and weaving.
In total, they released across the country 1,803 prisoners, including 96 women. Releasing prisoners requested for mercy, it is by the Constitution, and it is done every term. But due to COVID-19, this wasn't done as regularly. The spokesperson of the Rwanda Correctional Service, SSP Peri Weragakwaya, requests the released prisoners to behave well, but also the general public shouldn't see them as culprits.
If these people are released from jail, we shouldn't see them as culprits. Yes, they've committed crimes, but at the same time, they are released and were corrected. The public should help them to integrate again with the society. And I also ask the released to behave well, as they promised us, as they also saw the effects of committing crimes. But if in any ways one of them commits a crime again, we thank the country for new laws stating that things should be settled at the local level. So let us not see them released from jail as culprits.
The ministerial order of 9 September 2022 approves the probation release of the sentenced and also state that if any of the released commits any sort of crimes, he or she might be cut off from the granted rights of being released and could be given new penalties, including spending the remaining jail time. Prince Manzi, RwandaTV News.
Thank you, Prince. Now to regional matters. The EAC Secretary General Dr. Peter Mathuki has noted that the accession of the DRC into the East African community and deposit of the instrument of ratification mean DRC is now at liberty to participate in all EAC programs and activities. Dr. Mathuki
covered quite a number of things. One is how do we integrate DRC fully into the East African community. And as you all know, that the East African community made of partner states, and the decisions are made through consensus, and again, that when one partner state is not participating in activities, therefore then it means there's no quorum, and therefore that's why we came to inform DRC that there are those things need to be done very urgently. One of them is to designate a ministry responsible for East African Community Affairs, who will be coordinating with the Secretary General on matters related to East African community, and that is very important and very urgent. And secondly, we also urge DRC through the presidency to appoint a team that is going to develop along the EAC a roadmap to fully integrate DRC into the East African community.
DRC's entry into the bloc provides EAC partner states with access to an additional market of approximately 81 million people for trade. The total EAC imports from DRC in 2020 amounted to $49.2 million, and the EAC exports to DRC was $584 million. The figures are expected to increase. Moving on, the Institute of Certified Public Accountants of Rwanda has given awards for the 5th time to public and private institutions that have improved accounting in Rwanda in 2022. The institution says it helps to correct mistakes that have been appearing in how companies operate in terms of accounting. Jane Mutoni filed this report.
Those who received awards for the excellent management of accounting commend the way the level of finance and property management in Rwanda has improved. They say that this improvement has led to an increase in transparency.
We achieved this through working with different partners, along with the spirit of teamwork in our bank, which has landed us this award. During the speech, more light was on sustainability and how it can't be achieved without cooperation. So we need to put more effort in cooperation within employees and with partners, because it's the only way we can reach even further. From when we started and where we are now, there's a significant improvement which has been attained through transparency, which is also clear to the companies and partners that we work with.
The CEO of ICPAR in Rwanda, Amin Miramago, says that such competitions are an eye-opener for companies in terms of how they are performing, hence pushing them to improve.
Taking part in this competition is good because it encourages companies to improve and provide good reports to those seeking their services, hence more transparency. I urge those who did not receive awards to not be discouraged, because the most important thing is learn and take note of where they fell short and strive to improve. I was impressed by a company called Educate Rwanda. They presented a very good report because they learned from their past mistakes and made an improvement. As you can see, it yielded them good results.
A total of 9 awarded companies include various banks, private and public companies. This is the 5th time the awards have been presented. Jane Mutoni, RTV News.
Thank you, Jen. There are some illiterate young people who say that they face problems when it comes to engaging with modern development, since it mostly requires having basic knowledge when it comes to technology, but also they need it when it comes to reading and writing. Adam Squizera with the details.
Shimiman Alphonse, 23-year-old manpower, lives in data sector in Kigali City. Due to the limited resources in his family and other problems, he did not get the chance to go on with the studies. The reason I didn't complete my studies is that my parents had limited resources to pay school fees, as also my dad had mental illness. Chimiman and Murebgaire from Ruhanga Cell in Rusororo testified that some of the difficulties they face include missing opportunities because it is hard for them to adapt to technology.
There are sometimes it becomes difficult to read a letter. There is even sometimes it requires you to find someone to fill some documents for you to avoid making mistakes.
There is a time you get linked to a job, but it requires to be literate. There is even that time you will not be able to compose a message. Then I decide to buy airtime and call that person. Those young people asked for a special education since they never got opportunities to learn to read and write.
As those schools are available, we will get educated and we will be able to learn to read and write.
On Thursday, the world celebrated International Literacy Day, which was declared in 1967 in the 14th UNESCO General Conference, as it was celebrated on the global theme of remodeling literacy studying areas. 73% of Rwandans are literate. Adam Squizera, RTV News.
That's it, folks. Thank you so much for choosing RTV News once more. We'll be talking to you more tomorrow. I'm Isabel Masozera. Keep it RTV.